Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is August 18th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. And of course, Hurricane Hilary continues to spin down here. Category 4 status as we speak. Very intense system, and it will be tracking up Baja. It's got its eyes set on the southwest USA. We'll be going over this details as we go through the video today. Here's the infrared satellite loop. Looks like it's actually going through a bit of an eyewall replacement cycle, but a very intense storm system out there nonetheless. Socorro Island out there. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but there are some people that actually live there, so you're going to get the brunt of this Category 4 storm. Anyway, if you guys want to save 10% off on a nice affordable home weather station to record all this weather that's been going on across the region here, click on that link down below to save 10% off. Stores all the data for you in the cloud. You can see some of these stations across some of Baja out there, Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, for example. Now, this is a good example here of what could potentially happen here. You can see resultant flash flooding, some tropical storm remnants here, 1983, August 18th, cut off and isolated Palm Springs. This could be a precursor of what's to come here, and even spawned a tornado in Los Angeles there, and damage just from the storm exceeded 19 million. And we're likely looking at a much stronger system moving up over the area here, and you can actually see it back in 2013 there as well. Landspout near Hellendale out there. Interesting stuff. Now, just a reminder, you got this upper level low off the coastline the next few days, kicking off some thunderstorm activity, typical monsoon activity as well. You could be getting some heavy rain with these showers here, but look at this. You can clearly see on the high resolution model now Hilary moving up the coastline, likely to still be a hurricane by this point here by Sunday afternoon, right off of Baja here, and almost certainly will be a tropical storm that moves over California. Just really unprecedented stuff. Only one other time in recorded history has it ever been the case, back in 1939. So as you go through the day today, you can see some of this shower activity, late morning, afternoon hours, monsoon stuff going on, and then this moisture surge starts to arrive here as we go through Saturday morning. Look at this. It's going to be multiple rounds of very heavy rain moving across the desert, some of the higher terrain into Nevada, western Arizona, and yeah, and you can clearly see Hilary moving up the coast, probably still a hurricane at this point, continuing to bring big precipitation amounts, and there are going to be some huge impacts across the region here that we're going to start to look at here with some of the precipitation amounts anyway. But there's still a little bit of uncertainty in the forecast and just who's going to get how much, and I'll show you that here in a moment. But you can see for today, thunderstorm activity just kind of clipping Bakersfield there, and again for the higher terrain, Tonopah, Nevada out there, Las Vegas kind of under the gun for a thunderstorm today. This is day one. Excessive rainfall outlook, some of that monsoon moisture across some of southern Utah and through northwest Arizona. But day two, check this out. Saturday morning, you can clearly see they've upgraded this to moderate. Slight includes Las Vegas, a lot of Southern California, but look at day three, Sunday morning through Monday morning. You've got the high risk here across some of Southern California there, all the way up through Nevada, even up towards Idaho, as this huge plume of tropical moisture is really going to produce a huge deluge across the area here. Kind of running out of superlatives of what to expect here with this system, but I'm going to try my best. Here we go, a slight risk here as we go on in through Monday morning, on in through a very early Tuesday morning here as well, all the way up some of the west here, Intermountain West, across Oregon and Idaho as well. And then day five as the system finally pushes up and out of the area. Check out the National Weather Service Los Angeles. Look at all this stuff going on here. Dangerous ocean conditions possible, steep, large waves, strong winds, south swell. You can see that chance for tropical storm force winds here. Worse for LA, Ventura Coast, and southern waters. Dangerous harbor entrances, big surf out there, coastal flooding, beach erosion, potential for some storm surge out there as well. So heads up, good stuff here issued last night here, National Weather Service Los Angeles. And this is just kind of showing you, you might remember me showing this about 3 days ago here, but you can see the ensemble agreement now, likely the most precipitable water ever to show up in the atmosphere over San Diego, California. Interesting stuff here in recorded history anyway. And this is looking at the European, pretty good model agreement here with its ensembles and the deterministic run as this creeps up the coastline of Baja, and probably a tropical storm right over somewhere near Los Angeles, at least according to yesterday afternoon's European. Something similar here to the GFS as well, as this thing tracks right up Baja, California. And it's going to be weakening as it moves over the colder water here, but it's taken that short track here, so it's still going to have huge impacts across the area. Now you might ask, why is this happening? Take a look here. You can see Hilary down here. There's Baja, there's California, there's Texas here, and you can see the big ridge developing over the central portion of the USA. And a lot of times you have some kind of ridge here that allows this to be shunted off to the west. And this ridge will move in a clockwise rotation here and keep these out over the Pacific Ocean. Instead, this ridge is displaced much to the east here, and it says, hey, come on up. The door is wide open. Counterclockwise rotation here, southerly flow. It's just going to allow hurricane and Hilary and all its moisture to just move right up squarely over Baja, Southern California, and Nevada here over the next few days. Now take a look at this. Just some incredible data coming in here. Look at this inland locations along portions of the deserts of California up onto Nevada, Category 5 atmospheric river status, exceptional levels here. Just kind of crazy when you compare it to a standard atmospheric river here. You can see the AR5, all these red dots and orange dots up and down the mountain range here, all the way up into Nevada and California here. Some of the Sierra Nevada is going to be under the gun here as well, with some extremely heavy precipitation amounts as the system moves over. This is looking at the integrated vapor transport here on the GFS. This is how they measure atmospheric rivers. And you can clearly see this just pegs the scale as it moves up over Baja here. And just an incredibly intense, unusual surge of moisture. This is going to be devastating flooding. Catastrophic flooding is going to be possible with this event as it moves across Nevada through California here. Heads up, you guys got to be prepared for this stuff. Likely to be some loss of life with this system. Here's the Hurricane Weather Research forecasting system here with its buzzsaw as it moves up Baja California here. Likely to still be a hurricane at this point, but you can see the weakening trend ongoing, but still some pretty nasty winds are coming, especially for some of the higher terrain and even some of the coastal areas, San Diego, Los Angeles, Ventura County there along the coast. You could be getting a pretty good lashing of wind with this as well. And look at this move across Nevada also as it just kind of rips all the way up through Idaho and eventually western Montana as well. This is looking at the sea surface temperature here. So I've been showing this the last few days as well. Hurricane Hilary is now just kind of feeding off this very warm water, but once it gets above that yellow line, it's going to start its deterioration of the system there as it moves off its main energy source. But of course, that short track is not going to allow for as much weakening as we would like before it impacts California, Nevada, and western Arizona. And the sea surface temperature anomaly here is still above average here for this time of year, so that's going to give it a little bit of a boost here as it moves north. I'm going to play this again here as well. You can imagine this is a hurricane here, and it's over its nice warm waters here, but the green is the land or the colder water here. So what's going to happen here is it's going to move off the warmer water, but you notice the circulation still persists, and the dust you can imagine is moisture. It's going to bring just huge amounts of moisture here. There's nothing stopping that, and you can see the circulation still exists over land, even though this dust devil has lost its energy source. You can see the momentum and all the moisture it's going to bring here. So very comparable to hurricanes. Dust devils and hurricanes, very similar in that aspect. Heat transfer process across the planet. Now, this is looking at the European total precipitation in inches, and by the time you get towards Saturday morning, here it comes. Southwest Arizona, desert areas, big plume of moisture moving up over Nevada here, California. I mean, and once you get down into the details of high resolution models here, there's going to be some areas probably up over 10 plus inches of rain, and that's going to be 2 years worth of precipitation in a very short time. But you can also see the sharp precipitation gradient here for some areas. You can see western Arizona, extreme portions, but areas further east here are going to be left with much less precipitation. So you can see it's going to be very important how the system tracks on who gets how much. But look at some of Southern California, some of the higher terrain, just some very impressive rainfall amounts incoming. This is the NAM 12KM. Make sure this is up to date here. This is hot off the presses. Put it into motion, and you can see by Saturday morning, the precipitation coming up. Hilary moves up across the region here as well, and again with a strong or very noticeable precipitation gradient here across some of California and Nevada as we go on in through Monday afternoon would be shown here. And just some huge amounts are coming for some of the desert areas, especially some of the higher terrain, these east-facing slopes, which typically get very little precipitation, are just going to be blasted, including places like Death Valley, Tonopah, Nevada, places just off, Las Vegas is under the gun here. A lot of the desert areas here, even some of the Sierra Nevada as well, is going to be really under the gun here. Now look at the Santa Monica. Look at the upward trend here on last night's European run. 3.5 inches of rain in a 24-hour period. Just incredible stuff showing up in Los Angeles. So you can kind of see the variability showing up in some of the models here. We still have some uncertainty on just how much precipitation is going to fall and just how fast it's going to fall. Now this is 6-hour precipitation amounts for Los Angeles International Airport. 1.5 inches of rain in 6 hours. Incredible amounts of rainfall have, the potential exists with this system. This is San Diego, 2.5 inches in a 24-hour period. Riverside, a little bit of a downtrend here, but still plenty of rain there. We can kind of see the variability that exists in some of these model runs here. Santa Monica, 3.5 inches on the last run there in a 24-hour period. And look at the 6-hour precipitation, 2.3 inches of rain. I don't even know what to do with that. It's going to cause some pretty extensive flooding. Palm Springs, over 3 inches of rain, still continuing to show up, even a little bit of a downtrend over the last two runs here. But still, you're talking about getting close to the amount of rain you normally get in a year here in just one day. Catalina, you can see back and forth with some of this precipitation here. This is Catalina Airport. And this is Campo. Check out some of the winds across the desert areas. The ensemble means creeping up there around 50 miles per hour, potential for higher gusts, especially across the higher terrain. This is Big Bear City Airport, kind of a downward trend here, but don't be fooled by that. They could easily bounce back here, and we're not going to know exactly what's going to be going on here until we get some of the higher resolution models in range. This is Mojave Airport there. Look at this. You're getting up towards 3.5 inches of rain in a 24-hour period. Palm Springs, big amounts incoming here, folks. Likely some huge problems, big flooding out there across the deserts. I'm running out of ways to describe it here, but you need to be prepared to be isolated for potentially days here with this system moving over the area. Tonopah, Nevada is not going to be spared as well. And like I've said before, I was out there when just a half an inch of rain fell, and it caused huge problems. I can't imagine 2 inches of rain falling in a 24-hour period. Here's Las Vegas. You see big variability in some of these ensemble members here with the control right around 1.5 inches in a 24-hour period. But you go further on to the east, and you can see that big precipitation gradient here as Phoenix is not expecting the huge surge of moisture here as of right now. Now, this is recently updated. As I was making the video, it was updated. And look at this hurricane right all the way up into the northern Baja Peninsula there. 6 p.m. Sunday, got hurricane warnings across some portions there. Tropical storm warnings as well. Should remain a major hurricane here, as you can see, as it's paralleling Baja and then eventually downgrade towards a hurricane there. And look at this tropical storm. It's like, what, right over the top of Bakersfield? Just amazing stuff here, folks. So yeah, kind of a perfect setup happening here. A very strong hurricane taking a perfect track over some abnormally warm waters here across the eastern Pacific. And this is looking at Hurricane Hilary now. Look at the sustained winds, 125 knots. That's 145 miles per hour. That's a Category 4 storm. Look at that central pressure, 939 millibars. Very intense system. And this shows the Safford-Simpson scale, and you can see major 4. That's where we're at right now. Good thing it's not over land right now, so it will be going through weakening before it does hit land. Big Bear City Airport, kind of showing you that some of these higher terrain areas do have the potential for some big winds. Los Angeles even showing up. I mean, a lot of these ensembles have up towards 50 mile per hour gusts here. So you could be dealing with some pretty big winds, especially along the coastline too and out over the water, depending on just the exact strength and track of the storms that moves up. Riverside, big gusts possible there as well. Catalina, check it out. One of those ensemble runs is 70 miles per hour, and some of them have 60 plus. A lot of them have 50 plus here as well. San Diego, same thing here, but you can see the ensemble mean is not that high. Big variability in just how strong the system is going to be and just the exact track of it as it moves over Southern California. And this is Fresno. You can see the big variability in some of the ensemble runs here, kind of right on the borderline of that big precipitation gradient there in Fresno. This is Mammoth. Here we go, up in towards the Sierra Nevada here as well. Big potential here for precip, so do not sleep on it there across the Sierra Nevada. Even northern portions, according to some of the model runs, could be getting some big amounts, and this is kind of just showing you Palm Springs there as well with some intense precipitation incoming. Tonopah, this is Reno. This is not bad precipitation amounts. This caused some flooding issues all the way up towards Reno as well, and some higher amounts showing up in the ensembles there also. But yeah, I may do another video when I get home tonight. I have to work until about 9 p.m., so I'll be back then. And yeah, there's a lot going on here, folks, and you can see still has a ways to go to get here, so we still have a couple days to talk about this. But some of the impacts from this moisture surge, you can see it moving up across some portions of western Mexico and Baja as we speak. This is going to be surging up starting tomorrow morning. Be prepared across the desert areas. You need to take care of all your affairs as we speak, like today, right now, because the moisture is coming tomorrow. Big rain's coming tomorrow, and then for the next few days as this system makes its way up the west coast here. So anyway, I'll be updating on Twitter as well. Follow me there if you want, Seattle Weather Guy. And yeah, so we'll do this maybe again tonight. I might release another video here. This is some pretty extreme stuff here, so it's best to keep people updated and try to pinpoint some of these details as they come in. But anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, click like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow or tonight.